everybody, welcome back to Mr. Rogers' Kitchen. Today we're going to be making our seafood bisque, and right now we already got the soup pot on the oven just because this recipe calls for a pound of butter. Yes, you heard that correctly, 1 pound. Paula Dean would love it. It calls for a pound of butter and about a bunch of green onions, 1 bunch, that you get at the store. And the first step of this is to melt the butter and saute the onions. So I've started that process. I've got the butter melting now. I'm gonna saute the onions, and then it's gonna take about a half a cup of flour. You're gonna incorporate that in. I will show you that step here in just a minute, and then I will go over everything else that we're putting in it. So I'll be back with you here in just a second. Okay, we've got that sauteing. While that's doing, I wanted to just share a quick family secret with you. I scoured the internet trying to find it just to make sure it was real. Couldn't find it, but it works. So sometimes, when you get shrimp, they've got that shrimpy, fishy smell. What my family has always done is we take just a regular white wine and pour it over it. The internet says white wine vinegar, but like I said, we've always just used a bottle of white wine. And I know some people will say, well, that's a waste of a bottle of white wine. It's a cheap bottle of white wine, and I've definitely got more. So I've got, like I said, the butter and the onions sauteing. And that's about ready. So let me go ahead and bring it over. And then what you want to do, like I said, you want to take a half a cup of flour, and you're going to want to just kind of sprinkle that in and make sure that's incorporated well. So let me swap hands. It's kind of like making a roux, but not completely. And we're not going to wait and stir for 50 minutes while it turns that nice peanut butter brown like you would for a gumbo. So that's all nice and stirred up. And so what you're going to want to do then is start putting in the rest of the ingredients. You can put them in any order. We'll start with everything but the meats, and we'll add those last. So you're going to have a can of cream corn. I used the no salt added. I also used no salt added butter just because you're gonna season it and you don't want it to be too super duper salty. And so, like I said, just kind of stir as you go. Now this calls for a half tablespoon of the Cajun seasoning. We made ours, the Creole seasoning that we made. A teaspoon of Old Bay, a half tablespoon of salt, and then 2 tablespoons of pepper. Now again, you're going to taste it again once it's cooked and see if everything tastes like it's supposed to. So let's pour that in, mix it up. You're going to have a quart of half and half and a quart of heavy whipping cream. That's what's going to make it nice and bisque-y. And then here's our quart of heavy whipping cream. All right, now time for the best part. You're gonna have a pound of crawfish, or a pound and a half of shrimp. You can do as many or as little as you like. And then you've also got some crab meat. And there you go. And so we'll get this on the oven. We'll get this cooking, and we'll be back with you here. It's gonna, like I said, you wanna just simmer it for about 40 minutes. So, and you wanna stir it pretty frequently just to make sure nothing burns, and then it'll be done. So I'll be back with you here in about 40 minutes. Okay, so it's been 40 minutes. I pulled some out for a bowl. Yes, I did add in crab claws just to make it fun. So That's what it should look like, that nice creamy smooth texture with all of your meats in there, your vegetables, basically your corn. Like I said, you want to continue to stir it frequently. You don't want anything sticking to the bottom, and then just taste test it every once in a while just to make sure that the spice, the flavor, everything is where you want it to be. I did have to added a little bit more Creole seasoning to mine just to give it that extra little kick. So if you make it, let me know. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have a good rest of your week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.